So today guys, I'm going to be showcasing a Instagram profile that I just came across. It goes by the name of Strong and Mobile and it seems a little bit off. And I would like to take this opportunity to take you guys along on a learning trip. Because Instagram fitness is very wild and you really need to be very careful when consuming such type of content. The reel that got me to his profile is this. It says, I want mobile shoulders but don't know where to start. Ooh. Oh, okay. So basically what this reel is getting at, if you want mobile shoulders but don't know where to start, these exercises is where you start with. Right off the bat, I think we both can agree that these exercises that he showcased display extreme ranges of motion which are outside the barrier of say normal range of motion or what the general population would have the available range of motion. So that gets me to my first problem is what is his target audience? Like if there was a beginner, wanting to improve his shoulder health or gain shoulder strength or maybe gain more mobile shoulders, or people who maybe have stiff shoulders, because if you look at his caption, it says how to fix stiff shoulders. And then he's given such extreme ranges of motion, which is just not ideal. My second issue is with his content, you will see a very regular pattern this way, how to fix stiff shoulders. If you can see some other of his other content, like I want strong and mobile hips in 2024, but don't know where to start. I want mobile shoulders. I want strong knees and ankles, but don't know where to start. And in all of these reels, he showcases extreme lengths of range of motion, which no beginner, I think 90% of the population who doesn't know where to start will not be able to start with these exercises. But when I dived into the comment section, he seems to understand this and conveys it to those people who are confused or have previous injuries to explore regressions, meaning more easier variations of the very same exercises. So then why not say that or portray that? Okay, so let's come to my other problem is now let's look at what are the problems he's trying to claim that he can solve and what are the solutions he's giving. Let's just first tackle that very first reel that we saw. Mobile shoulders, and in the caption it says how to fix stiff shoulders. Now, the first question that any professional in this industry, in the fitness space, would ask you, if he was a thorough professional, he would do a background check, a further investigation into this particular person. Why do you have stiff shoulders in the first place? And there could be a million reasons for why your shoulders feel stiff. Maybe it is a lack of mobility, meaning a lack of movement. And if there's a lack of movement, then any exercise would be beneficial for you and you don't necessarily have to stretch to such an extent. Any normal weight training exercise without extreme ranges of motion will also help. The problem is also that people don't understand what stiff actually means, and to each individual, stiff can mean many different things. It could be lack of mobility, but it could also be that this person is suffering from an injury and therefore the body has adapted to make that particular space more stiff in order to protect that area from further movement or further damage from movement. Meaning that if that person were to push or stretch that particular injured area, which is made stiff by his body for his own good, he would only hurt himself more. Which is why knowing the root cause of the stiffness is the main priority before just saying, do this stretch all the way back and it will be solved. Because that's just not how stuff works with the body. Now let's look at this other reel. It's called I want strong knees and ankles but don't know where to start. Sissy squats. Again, these are very unconventional to what the general population would be exposed to, and I don't think 90% of people would even be able to come close to this amount of range of motion. What is the problem he's trying to solve here? Let's see. How to fix weak knees and ankles. My question would be, what are weak knees and ankles? And the people watching this, what makes you think you have weak knees and ankles? Because it is all specific to the person. It could also be that maybe you don't have an injury, you have a perfectly normal, healthy knee joint, but because you cannot do a sissy squat with some weight added to it, You claim yourself to have a weak knee because this person seems stronger than you. That is problematic. Let me give you another example. If you can deadlift 100 kgs, you might be stronger than a majority of the general population. But if I were to put you in a powerlifting category, you would be termed as weak because that is quite the bare minimum you would see in a powerlifting community. So it is all about perspective, and at the end of the day, we should just be looking at our joint health. If it is compromised, that is a problem. But if it is completely healthy, you are not weak. Now, it's different if you want to achieve this particular skill or if you want to improve strength. That is a different ordeal. But that does not mean that you are weak right now. You are just strong, but you can be stronger if you wanted to. Okay, so what about this? I want a bulletproof upper body, but don't know where to start. Let's see. Weighted pull up. Okay. Deep. As you can see, this guy has a very proclaimed bias towards exploring end ranges of motion. And that's fine. That's completely fine if this person wants to do it. But again, using the word bulletproof just doesn't mean anything. There is no particular definition to what that even means. Now, to all the people that say that they've done these certain exercises and they've felt better, well, if anybody were to have absolutely no mobility or no movement in their day-to-day lives, any exercise would be very, very beneficial for you. So it's not that these particular end ranges of motion, exploring those deep stretches, is giving you the benefit. It is just the fact that you are moving your body more than you did before that is possibly giving you that extra benefit. Meaning, again, any exercise would be worth your time. And there is nothing special in exploring end ranges of motion. And that brings me to my last segment. Do you really require such extreme ranges of motion? Because it all depends on your requirement. If you are somebody that plays a sport or does a particular activity that requires more extreme ranges of motion, then you are free to explore it, given you are gradually and safely exploring that range. But if, say, you're a common average Joe who just wants to grab the book from the upper shelf, if you can raise your arm up and do that normally, you don't need extreme ranges of motion. You don't need to explore such stretches unless you want to pick the book up like this. So see, it all depends on your goals, but it's also worth noting that you need to understand that your body is adaptive and you need to allow it time to get to that stage. Nobody just hops onto the bar, puts 100 kgs and squats it. They have to gradually get there through time and effort. Similarly with ranges of motion, you just cannot force your body into these extreme stretches. Allow it time. If you experience pain, if you experience discomfort, these are not favorable adaptations. Your body is telling you that you need to take it slow, so listen to it.